Hello students, I am Harshada More. Welcome you all in the first video lecture of Unit 3 for the subject International Business Management. So Unit 3 is all about procedure documentation and promotion, which includes different procedures which are included in the form of procedure involved in export and import of goods and services, and different documents to be required while export import. So that is what we have to study. So let's study one by one aspect. What is export? So it is derived from the conceptual meaning as to ship the goods and services out of the port of a country. So seller of such goods and services is called as exporter, and whereas the overseas based buyer is referred to as an importer. So to understand this particular definition, I would like to give an example. So I'll be writing it over here. Just a minute. Okay. So I'll give an example. There are two countries. First is India. Okay, first is India. Second is UAE. That is United Arab Emirates, Dubai, or Arabian countries. Okay, so we can just these are the two countries. So in this, what kind of a product India is importing from UAE? That is, India is importing oil. And what kind of a product UAE is taking from India? India is supplying them machineries. It can be machineries, or it can be different food items. Okay, so where this is a particular example, we'll take first example as in the case of oil products. So India is buying oil from UAE, so India will be called as importer, and UAE will be called as exporter in this transaction, in the first transaction. Next transaction is where India is providing machineries, foods to UAE. So in this case, India will become exporter. India will become exporter of food and machinery, and UAE will become importer. So this is what the difference is. Okay, so I hope you have understand with the example of this. So this is what all about export and import difference. Okay, so next is, there are two types of export, that is direct export and indirect export. So there are two types of export, that is direct export and indirect export. So we'll study what is the difference between these two. So direct exporting occurs when a manufacturer or exporter sells directly to an importer or buyer located in foreign market. So directly we are selling goods. Then is indirect export. Indirect exporting involves the use of independent middlemen. So here they will include there will be the involvement of the different agents. So let's study how it will be. So this is an example to understand direct export or import, we'll see. So let's see. India is importing different goods from America. India is importing different goods from America. So how this transaction will happen? First of all, India will give an order for particular goods or services. Then India will pay money to America, and once the payment is done, what America will do? They will ship the goods and services to India. So that will be a direct export. Okay, so it will be let's this for America, it is export, as America is selling the goods, so America will be a exporter. Okay, and India is buying goods from America. So India will be called as importer of goods. Okay. So I hope you have understood with the help of this. This is a direct export or import, we can say. So for America it is export, and for India it is import. Next. So this is a typical international transaction when there is involvement of different banks of the different exporter importer. Okay, so before going with this, I would like to just tell you brief about this particular definitions. Okay, so what is LOC? That is letter of credit. So letter of credit means what? In this, bank gives a guarantee of payment on behalf of importer after producing specified documents. So this is something which is this in this format, in this, if on behalf of importer, bank will prepare a statement by which will includes that they will give a guarantee of payment from the side of importer. So to whom this LOC should be given? This should be given to exporter of the goods and services. So next is draft. What is draft? So bills of exchange and draft is one and the same. So it return draft, if a return draft prepared by exporter which includes telling an importer, it is a return draft. Okay, so draft is a return document which is prepared by exporter of goods and services, which includes telling to importer to pay a specified amount of money at a specified time. So okay, so this is what a drafts. Next is bill of lading. What is bill of lading? So it is issued by exporter, which will be treated as a receipt, contract and documents of a title. So I hope you have understood these three important concepts, because this will be oftenly used in the future aspects. So make sure you are understanding these three concepts. Letter of credit. Letter of credit is prepared by a bank on behalf of importer of goods and services, and this draft has been given to exporter. What does it this draft includes? It includes guarantee of payment by the side of importer. Secondly, what is draft? Draft, it is a return draft prepared by an exporter of goods and services, which includes telling to an importer to pay a specified amount of money at a specified time. What is bill of lading? So it is it is issued by exporter, which will treated as a receipt, contract and document of a title. So once you understand this concept, we can go for this. Okay, so this is a normal transaction which will happen between two countries. So here they have given two countries, that is American exporter and French importer, where French is where French is importing goods from. So French is importing goods from America. So let's discuss about this. So first step will be importer orders goods. So in this case, who is the importer? French. So France is the importer. So French, what they will do? They will send an order to America. First step. Second step is exporter agrees to fill order. So who is exporter? Exporter is America. America will agree on whatever they have ordered that will be related to any goods or services. Third step is importer arranges for LOC. As I have told you, LOC will be given by bank, which includes assurance of payment on behalf of importer. So this will be prepared by importer. Fourth step is Bank of Paris. Bank of Paris sends LOC to Bank of New York. So as I have told you, France is an importer. So this is a Bank of France, and this is a Bank of America. Okay, so these are the two banks of the two parties involved. Okay, so we have to exchange the currencies, right? So bank the there will bank will bank role of bank will come into picture. Okay, so once the importer prepares LOC, that LOC needs to be given to Bank of New York. Okay, Bank of New York. Fifth step is Bank of New York informs exporter of LOC. So Bank of New York inform to America regarding LOC. Next, sixth step is goods shipped to France. Once it has been notified to America exporter, then those goods will be shipped to France. Seventh step is exporter presents draft to bank. Exporter is America. They will prepare a draft to, as I have told you, draft is where you are mentioning a date and amount of your whatever transaction is the transaction has been done. So it will notify to importer to please pay our amount on a specified date. Next, eighth one is Bank of New York presents draft to Bank of Paris. So this draft will prepared by America. So they will give that draft to first Bank of New York, and Bank of New York will give that draft to Bank of Paris. Next is Bank of Paris will returns accepted draft. So this particular Bank of Paris will return the draft to New York. Next is tenth one. Tenth one is this: exporter sells draft to bank. So exporter will sells the draft to bank, and next step is bank tells importer documents arrive. To a bank will tell to get some documents which are related to export. So next is importer pays the bank. So importer will first pay the amount to the Bank of Paris, and 14th one is Bank of Bank of New York presents matured in front and get the payment. So Bank of New York will give a receipt to Bank of Paris, and Bank of Paris will pay on behalf of French importer to Bank of New York. So this is what this is looking bit critical, but it is not. You have to just try to write down these all steps separately. Okay, and then try to connect. Just don't forget whatever different definitions I have explained you. So these are the definitions will be used in that particular procedure. So that's all for today's class. Next aspect I'll be covering in the next class. We have already done with module first module and second module, and I have already circulated the notes of it. You'll be having your first internal soon, so just try to start studying, and please refer the notes which I have provided you, and all the best.